Do you have them dialed up yet? No, not yet.
Hey guys, Joe here, joined this afternoon by James Young, Coach James Young, I should say, of Sports Grid. Coach, how's the day going?
I'm doing well, Joe. I'm excited for NBA Final Game 6, NBA Draft around the corner next week. WNBA's kicking off, so it's still a busy time in the basketball season, even though the NBA season's winding down.
Yeah, absolutely. We have a fantastic game on our hands tonight. Like you said, Game 6, here we are. If the Warriors win it tonight, we're not going to see NBA for a while. They could take this. What are you thinking in this matchup, Coach?
Well, there's a couple of things you have to look at right now. When you talk about, particularly in the Golden State Warriors side, is the fact that Steph Curry didn't play particularly well. Actually, he shot the ball terribly, especially from three in the last game. Now, Steph Curry, the last 3 times he's gone under 20 points in an NBA Finals game, he's averaged 34.25 points per game the game after. So I think everybody expects a bounce back game for Steph Curry. So maybe that points prop hanging around 27.5 on BetMGM, maybe something, or depending where your book is, maybe something you want to play. Next, people call it Game 6 Clay. Klay Thompson, 5 of the last 6 games, I do believe, in game number 6, 25 plus points. So you got to see what happens with him. And then obviously the maturation of Andrew Wiggins has been phenomenal this series. I've been riding his points prop pretty much the entire series. I'm actually going to go on Pharrell in a little bit and actually talk about the fact that I actually like him to get a double-double today.
Ooh, nice.
16 and 13 rebounds last 2 games. And you can find some props out there, depending on your book, who would have the leading rebounding average in the finals. And right now, the average leader is Andrew Wiggins. So it should be easy, interesting to see there. As for Boston, they just got to survive in advance. Robert Williams is banged up with his knee. He talked about the fact that, it's not going to hurt him any worse by playing. So we're going to see what we got of Robert Williams. Who's going to be the number 3 scorer for Boston besides Tatum and Brown? And they both need to play well. Is it going to be Al Horford? Is it going to be Marcus Smart? Do you get a better performance out of Derek White, who's been limited the last 2 games in his scoring punch? So we have to see what happens there. And then Ime Udoka's got to manage his substitution patterns better. Last game, neither Brown nor Tatum, they worked their way back, Joe, and got the lead in the third quarter, but neither one of them took a break in the second half. And you saw it with their jump shots being a little bit short in the fourth quarter. Let's see if Ime Udoka adjusts how we get those guys out of the game to give them some rest. We can have them down the stretch.
Now, we saw Jason Tatum in the last game just turn that ball over like crazy, but we also saw Steph Curry not be able to get a 3-pointer. How do you think both of these players bounce back in this game?
Well, I think Steph's going to go off tonight. I mean, even they've even been reports today that even Boston knows he's going to go off tonight. It's just a matter of how much does he go off and how much do they take away. I think Boston's still going to try and be really aggressive. They picked him up a little bit further away from the basket in the last game. Maybe they continue to do that to make Steph shoot a deeper 3, that 30-footer instead of 25-footer. So we'll see what happened there. But I think Jason Tatum's going to go off. People have talked about this conversation, Joe. Top 10, top 5 player in NBA. And he's been up and down, up and down. For Boston to have a chance, Joe, Jason Tatum's got to go off. And I'm talking about going off, meaning 30 points plus go off. His points props at 28.5. I wouldn't be surprised if he went over it and went over it by a decent amount.
What do you think of his points, rebounds, and assists here? Now, we know he's going to be definitely getting those rebounds tonight. It's under 41.5 at -101. Would you take that under or over? It's hit under in all of his last 5 games.
The problem is he doesn't do all 3 in a game. He usually does 2 out of 3. I think Golden State he's going to try and shoot his way out of this. I'm worried about the assists. So if anything, Joe, I would go points and rebounds together tonight for Jason Tatum. Maybe leave the assists alone. If you want to play the assists over separately, play it separately by itself. But points and rebounds would be the way I would go with Jason Tatum tonight.
Yeah, I think that's a solid way to take this. Now, you think Steph's going to have a big night here. His 3-pointer is coming in over 4.5. You think he's going to hit over that?
Can you, Joe, let's talk about this for a second. It's 4.5. And if you take the under, you're like, wait, Steph's not going to make 5+ threes, which is insane. It's a 3-point a quarter, actually more than that. I think Steph is – listen, I remember watching a video when Steph Curry went, I think, 0 for 13 or something like that from 3 in a game early in his career. Then he went and hit like 13 threes the next game. I wouldn't be shocked, y'all. I'm going to say this. If Steph Curry goes off early and this guy may have 3-pointers by halftime, I would go over 4.5 made threes for Steph Curry tonight.
Yeah, I could see it happening too. The frustration that he has to have not being able to sink a single 3-pointer in that last game. But what support we saw from the Golden State Warriors, like Wiggins coming in, really supporting him and still getting the win, even with their superstar having a bad night.
Yeah, and I think that's the key thing you have to look at for Golden State. You had a rough game by Steph. Clay wasn't really particularly good. Also got into foul trouble. Let's see if Boston does a better job if people get into foul trouble of exploiting them on the defensive end of the floor. So those two didn't play well, and it was the Andrew Wiggins show. Obviously, phenomenal game scoring and rebounding. Draymond would be better. Maybe look at Draymond's rebounds and assists, because here's how you have to correlate. Sorry, I shook my screen. Here's how you have to correlate this a little bit with Steph. If Boston's going to be really aggressive on that high ball screen and get all it out of his hands, the ball's going to end up with Draymond. Draymond will then play 4-on-3. So that's where you can get drives by Draymond for kickouts for 3, or you can get Draymond getting to the basket a couple of times. That's why you saw him go over his points prop. So even Draymond's points, rebounds, and assists, you may want to dabble with that a little bit, because I think he's going to get the ball in situations where he could score and when he could get assists. And obviously we know Draymond is going to rebound. A real thing to look at, Joe, and I want people to understand, the reason why people like Andrew Wiggins are getting over their rebound props and Draymond's rebounding a little bit more is this. Robert Williams is such a factor on the offensive boards. Generally, Kevon Looney has to block him out. Yeah. Whoever is the 4 spot for Boston, for a lot of the time it's Al Horford, sometimes it's Jason Tatum. Neither one of them is really crashing the offensive boards. That's why you see guys like Wiggins and Draymond getting rebounds with nobody around them. So take a look at Draymond with the rebounds and assists. I think it could be a sneaky little play here, especially hanging that number low, because I think, here's the thing. People are talking about the fact that Golden State has lost their first last 3 series. The first chance they had to close them out, they've missed it. Got to realize, folks, those were game 4 and game 5 situations. This is game 6. If they lose tonight, they got to go home for game 7. They don't want to go back to the Bay in a winner-take-all situation. I think the Warriors smell blood, and that's why I think they're going to end up winning the game.
Absolutely. I'm completely with you here, Coach. It's going to be a fantastic game. Hopefully, Golden State comes out and just dominates in this one. Any thoughts on the total? We have a low total. It's down to 210 now. You think this one is a defensive war on the court?
I've been going back and forth. I think they're going to score tonight. I think because Tatum's going to score better. Okay, you'll get a better shooting game out of Brown. Curry's going to bounce back. We know about Game 6 Clay. So if those two do what they do normally, that's about 55 points just for those two by themselves. You get another 20 out of Wiggins, you're already at 75 for Golden State. So that means Boston's got to keep pace. Here's the way I've always said this with this series. Boston in the under, Golden State in the over. Because I like Golden State, I'd probably lean with the over.
Okay. Well, Coach, all the best in all of your bets. Can you let everyone know where to find you on socials, as well as all the shows that you have going on today and for the rest of the week?
I'll be on my Twitter handles, Coach Young NJ, JRY02 on IG. I'll be going on with Scott Farrell. I'm in studio in I can see myself on the screen about 30 minutes or so. I'll be back on tonight at 8 o'clock with Gabe Morenzi, Cam Stewart on In-Game Live at 8 o'clock. And I'll probably be doing In-Game Live during the game's second half. So you can catch me all over the Sports Grid, Family and Networks, channel 159 and Sirius XM. So I'll be on there a bunch tonight. And, if there's a game 7, I'll be right back on Father's Day. I mean, that may be my Father's Day, spending it at Sports Grid. So let's see what happens tonight.
Well, Coach, thank you so much for joining me here, and keep crushing it over there with all the content at Sports Grid. You guys are doing an incredible job. Love checking out your shows. I'll definitely be tuning in later. So thank you so much and have a wonderful day.
Thanks, Joe. Thanks for having me. We'll talk next week.
Talk next week. Thank you.